G'day everyone, hope you're having a great day today. It's Tim from Key Computers. It's going to be a little bit of a different video. Today we're going to do a little bit of a review on this laptop. A customer asked me to find them a laptop that was about $2,000 to $3,000 Australian and could do some video editing, some photo editing, and also a bit of gaming. So I went hunting, and this is pretty much the only laptop that came in that category. All the other laptops were over $3,000. So we'll have a look at this. The model I found is made by Asus, and it's the V16. The specific model will be in the description, so you can check that out. But yeah, it had a Core 7 240H, which has 10 cores, 16 threads, and goes up to 5.2 gigahertz. And it comes with a GeForce RTX 5060 laptop GPU, which has got 8 gigs of VRAM. And the screen is a nice 1920 by 1200 144 hertz screen, and it has 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM in it and 1 terabyte of NVMe PCIe 4 SSD. So the specs are pretty decent on it. So I thought I'd give it a bit of a test run and see how well it performed. Starting off with the Steel Nomad test. The Steel Nomad is a good test for more modern games. It has a lot of the new technologies being used in games in it, and I ran that on the laptop, and I was kind of disappointed with the result. I thought it would be better, but I'm thinking it's the 8 gig of VRAM is holding it back. It only got a 1814 score, which is pretty low. But when you look at the results there, it still says it can run Battlefield 5 at 80 plus frames, but I don't know about that. So yeah, here it is against some desktop computers. My computer is the next one in the list from the laptop, and you can see that it's really getting well behind in terms of performance. And I guess it's a good time to just give my opinion on gaming laptops. And basically I find them not that great. I think they're overpriced generally, and the amount of performance you get out of them is nowhere near as good as you'd get from putting the money into a desktop. But if space is a real issue for you and you really got to have some portability, then laptops are the way to go. But if you don't need to do that and you are quite capable of having the computer sitting on a desk, you're really just going to be more beneficial putting the money into a PC, which you can then actually upgrade later on as well. Because yeah, you won't be able to turn the settings up or do anything on a laptop, because they've got to cram it all into such a small space, and it makes it difficult. And they got to run on batteries as well. But going back to the laptop, its overall styling is very nice. It wasn't very gamey, which is good. It's more of a normal sort of laptop that has some performance parts in it. The power connector on it was actually quite sturdy and almost looked like a big Type A connection. The right side of it had a Type A USB port and has the charging and power indicator LEDs on it. And on the left side, it had the charging, the HDMI 2, Type A, Type C, and audio. On the back of the laptop, it had 2 really good ventilation ports, but I didn't see a whole lot of intake port, so was a bit concerned it might run a bit hot. It also comes with the privacy shutter for your webcam, so that's a nice feature, quite common on modern laptops. And then I decided I better run TimeSpy, because TimeSpy it tests performance on slightly older games, not the latest and greatest. And I was pleasantly surprised at how well it ran TimeSpy. And the audio on the laptop was quite good. I'll give you a bit of a listen. Yeah, so the audio was quite impressive. The touchpad on it is really big and really nice to use, so it's one of the better ones I've used. And here is what it sounds like under load. So yeah, the fan noise was actually pretty good. It's one of the quieter ones that I've had in my workshop before, so they've done a good job with that. There we go, we got a score of 9,177 on the time spy test, which is definitely on the low side when we go to my graph. So the graph shows here that it's well behind compared to a desktop. So yeah, I wouldn't be expecting this laptop to be able to run things at full detail and get decent frame rate. You are going to have to turn everything down and in order to play games at decent frame rates. It's still going to be fine for some video editing and photo editing because of the GPU accelerating those programs, but it's definitely not going to be anywhere near a desktop performance. So once again, if you don't have any space restrictions and don't need portability, just invest in a PC, because to get anywhere close to a PC, you're going to have to spend big bucks just to get it in a laptop. So we moved on, and now we'll go to the Superposition benchmark. I benchmarked with this a lot more than the other ones, and so I've got a lot more results. And so I'll be able to give you a much bigger graph. So now that we zoomed in onto the stats, you can see clearly that it's struggling to get above 50 frames a second. It's averaging only 41, which is pretty much what I expected. It just doesn't have the grunt to go any better than that. So you probably have to turn your settings down, like I said. Looking at the temperatures though, I'm pretty impressed. They've done a really good job with the cooling. It's hanging around the low 70 degree mark while under full load. That's a lot better than most laptops I've seen. So I think they've done pretty well with the cooling system on this laptop. But yeah, it's just a limitation of a 5060 and 8 gig of, and also the fact it's a laptop is really holding it all back. I'll just say it again, basically, if you really want to play games at high detail and all that, just go for a desktop. So there we go, we got a score of 5,256, and this is running it at full HD resolution, so yeah, not even running it at the resolution of the actual screen on the laptop. And when we compare that to much more computers, you can see it's lagging way behind. It can't even beat an AM4 based CPU on a desktop, and it's well behind the MSI Vector 16, which actually got a reasonable score of 10,000, but 10,000 still is okay, but it could be a lot better. But that laptop is like $1,000 more expensive, so that's the kind of money you need to invest to actually get anything close to a desktop. In a laptop, you need to spend like anywhere from like $4,000 right up to $7,000 or more. So it's a huge amount of money, and you don't need to spend that kind of stuff on a desktop. And finally, I did a Cinebench just to see how well it went. Unfortunately, Cinebench still doesn't support the 50 series GPUs, so I wasn't able to actually get a GPU score on this thing. All I can do is test the CPU, and the CPU was not that great. It was 734. My own computer was like 1710 or something like that, and the MSI Vector laptop was 1699, which is a lot better, but as I said, you need to spend at least $1,000 more to get to that level. So this laptop is okay, but I wouldn't be trying to play games seriously on it. It'll do the job of rendering videos and doing photo editing and stuff, quite well because of the NVIDIA GPU, but don't expect it to be able to render in seconds or anything like that. Just keep a open mind and reasonable expectations, and this laptop's actually not that bad. It's pretty good for the price point, but if you really want excellent performance in all areas, consider either spending a lot more money or going to a PC. Anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully this was helpful to you, and the next video will be a pretty normal one, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.